Mount Ararat at 4,630 meters altitude, Part 14. The abundance of this what appears as metal around the debris field, around its borders, could be that of the ship when falling from its landing spot from 4,991 meters to then fall into this cavern at 4,605 meters. In its fall, broke its bottom hull and right side hull, causing this debris field. But something else fell off from Noah's Ark, and present among that debris field, and it was probably because of this something else falling from the ship that caused so much of that debris to be present, and not just the ship's fall and the glacier pushing over the right side of the ship, further breaking its hull. Something that was keeping the wood of the barge structure together, a sort of iron reinforcement or some iron frame that crossed the barge over its sides and edges. In other words, an exoskeleton. This area here, next to the ship's rear at 4,630 meters, appears as a pile of things that by their shapes do not appear made of wood. From where did all this come from? Not from the inside of the ship, because there is no damage of the ship's hull in this area, unless it came from the top of the ship and from its sides. But as I already said in a previous episode, that side you see is not the right side of Noah's Ark. The ship, when falling into this cavern, the barge area of the ship flipped over, something like 180 degrees. In other words, what appears as a side of the barge structure could instead be the bottom hull of the barge structure. This side is supposed to be standing down horizontally, but instead it is standing up vertically. I discovered this some time ago when measuring this ship and discovering that its measures were not the Bible measures of Noah's Ark. I believe that when the ship fell from 4,605 meters in this other cavern at 4,630 meters, the barge detached itself from the rest of the ship, and the impact with the rock ground caused the whole area of the barge to detach from the ship when falling down in this cavern at 4,630 meters. Its side mostly gone, and being the debris at 4,605 meters. The barge, when falling in this other cavern at 4,630 meters and weighing little of its original weight, flipped up the bottom hull, standing down horizontally, lifted up vertically, in falling in the cavern, becoming the barge right side at 4,630 meters. Is there any remaining evidence of a metal exoskeleton over the ship that has not fallen down from the ship? Yes, there is. This feature here that looks like a metal anchor appears to be part of another structure that could be a piece of the ship's hull in this area on the ship's right side. Whatever it is, it appears to be made of metal, and part of something as if sticking out of that something that could be the ship's hull. This could prove that there is metal in the ship's hull. And these features, what are they? Nails? This here that appears as the ship's top of the barge structure. This is not the top of the barge structure, but what remains of its side hull. There is a metal type structure all across it, and it appears metal. You cannot give wood these shapes, and appears broken and crooked. This could be the evidence of a metal exoskeleton over the ship's hull. A metal exoskeleton over Noah's Ark would give evidence of a metallurgical industrial civilization having existed in 4000 BC, that forged metal and knew the use of iron in ship construction. In other words, a civilization as ours. But surprises don't end here. What is that? A metal crane